Hey yo guys, what's good, what's happening, and what's going on? Welcome to Thursday. Probably saying, Adam, you're at home. That's because it's like 6:35 in the morning. Look, you can tell. Any hoozle. So yesterday was our potluck, and I brought a bunch of soda. Originally you saw that I had the Dr. Pepper Zero. When I went to go get the Coke Zero at Walmart, I went on Tuesday to go pick that up before heading into the office. That way there, I brought in the Dr. Pepper on Monday, but then Tuesday I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go get the Coke Zero. And what do I see in there beside the Coke Zero? Mountain Dew Zero. Brisk iced tea Zero. I was like, I've been wanting brisk iced tea Zero in Canada for the longest time. A friend of mine who like border jumps because they go to a place out west where literally it's called Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Well, right across the river is Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. So they usually border jump and go and pick up brisk iced tea Zero. We finally have it in Canada at a time when we're not supposed to buy American stuff because we're doing this whole boycotting American goods, support Canada because of the Trump tariffs and all that shit, which apparently aren't happening now. I don't know what's going on. It's like threats are made and then they're reneged on and then remade and then reneged on, and then it's like, what's really going on here? Why is this happening? World is so frigged. Anyway, whatever. I didn't get the Brisk Zero. I ended up grabbing the Mountain Dew Zero because one of my favorite sodas from back in the day was always Mountain Dew. I used to buy that so much, and I'm pretty sure it was also part of the contributing factor as to why I was a borderline type 2 diabetic at one point, and why I also couldn't drive the Firebird because I was too fat to fit. True story. I'm not making that one up. So I bought the Pops. Brought them in on Tuesday, and just let them sit in the fridge at work. And yesterday we had our potluck, and let me tell you, it was carbs on carbs on carbs on carbs. I haven't had carbs for like a month. You'd be surprised how quickly a cheat meal like that will cock over your progress. Like, I feel bloated from all the carbs. I got home last night and I had the biggest dump. Well, first at work, like after we ate, an hour into it, I had to go have a dump. And then I get home from work, so it's like 2 o'clock, I'm pooping. I get home from work at 4 o'clock. I pretty much got to run in the house because I'm straight up puppy nosing. I pooped again. And then 7:30 last night, I pooped again. And I weighed myself this morning just to see how much damage I did to the weight loss. I was sitting at 239, so I know I'm retaining a lot of water today due to consuming all that stuff, all the carbs. It was good though. There's a lot of East Indian food, which I love it. I love it. It's so spicy, and I love spices now. I can actually handle them, and that's courtesy of the cayenne pepper pills. Why is it so chilly down here? What's my freaking temperature? Oh, I just heard the furnace kick over. That's friggin' 68. I'm gonna make it 69 just because it's a better number. So yeah, I was up at 4 o'clock this morning, came down here and ripped a workout on the old flex. I've been trying this new workout my buddy was telling me about. He's like, you should try tut training. And I'm like, tut training? Like King Tut? Like, do I do Egyptian shit? And he's like, dude, stop. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And then he's like, no, it's called time under tension. I'm like, what the hell is that? And he's like, literally, he goes, when you're doing a bench press, you're probably pressing and bringing it back and pressing it. You're just punching your arms out as hard as possible, and you're not leaving enough tension on the muscle. And then he tells me, he's like, you ever go to Walmart and buy a bunch of stuff and you're carrying that basket? And I'm like, well, that's how I shop. I never push a cart because I didn't never go in there and buy a lot of stuff. I just go in there and I'll buy like, you know, a couple packs of chicken or whatever, put it in a basket. And he's like, you know how you're carrying it with your arm flexed out and you're walking around, and then over time you feel that burn in your muscles and you get that sick pump from it, and like you feel like a tank and stuff. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't know about the tank part, but yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. And he's like, do that. He's like, trust me, do that. He goes, that burn, he goes, if you push through that burn to the point where it sucks so much that you feel like you're gonna throw up and you try to push through that, he goes, literally, it's gonna signal your body to recruit more muscle fibers for the area to reinforce the muscle, so that the next time you can do the same with more weight and more weight and more weight. He's like, time under tension is a great way to grow your muscles. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll give it a go. I'm always switching switching up the ideas for workouts and stuff. Now, one thing I noticed since I started this, today's Thursday and I started time under tension on Monday. Doing it with squats, no, forget it. No, I can't do it with squats. Deadlifts, I find it really rough. I can't go as heavy, that's a given. And he said you're not supposed to go as heavy. He goes, use a realistic world weight. He's like, don't be throwing around a curling bar with 80 pounds on it. He's like, I literally do it with a curling bar with 25 pounds per side. But he's way stronger and more trained. And well, he's a professional bodybuilder because he enters competitions and makes money doing it. But he said, don't go super heavy, just go super slow. Like bring it up and then slowly retract it down, or bring it up, retract it halfway and hold it there as long as you can. Your body is gonna shake. You're gonna get all queasy. It's gonna suck, but just do that and you should be able to feel the results. And like yesterday, I was pretty sore at work because on Tuesday I did back and triceps. Yesterday I did legs, and like I said, with squatting, I tried doing time under tension, and literally it looked like I was pooping in the woods with my position that I was in to really make the thighs light up. But the problem was okay, you do that and then you're done, right? Like but you still got to push yourself up to the upright position to re-rack the bar. How do you friggin' do that when your thighs are done? Holy crap. I was able to do it once where I dug deep and was able to get myself up to re-rack the bar, but the second time I tried it, forget it. I completely hit failure and my quads would no longer operate. I had to rest the bar on the low bars, the safety bars, and like crab walk out because there's no way I was putting it back up in the upright position. So I was like, okay, that ain't gonna work. So what I ended up doing was just wait for my legs to stop being numb and in pain, and I just banged out normal squats by going at like a slower speed. And then I came in here and set this thing up for leg extensions and hamstring pulls. And I just use this setup. That way when I hit failure, I go into the resting position and I'm not trapped underneath a bar. It's perfect. And then when I'm laying on my back doing hamstring pulls, I pull it up to the full, bring it back to about the half, maybe 75% pull, and just hold it there. And it just lights up your hamstrings to the point where like you want to cry, but you just don't. And then for calves, what I did was I actually used a squat bar. I would just put the bar on my shoulders, get up on my calves in the actual position of racking, so that if I did fail, I would just bring it back down and it would re-rack the bar for me, or be in the position to be re-racked. And I would get up on my calves with the extra weight on my shoulders and just deal with the pain until there was no more pain, or my calves would fail and I'd be so freaking jittery on my feet that I would have to like re-rack and call it quits. Then I'm at work and we had some shit to do. No more computers. That's the reason why I'm at home, by the way, is they're not sending us any more computers this week. So I asked my boss, I'm like, do you mind if I work from home Thursday and Friday? Like I don't really see the point of wasting the fuel to go to the office. Like we're allowed to work from home 2 days a week as per the agreement. Now that may come to an end. I heard in the US that work from home, a lot of places are telling their employees 5 days office now because of a study that came out where people aren't working from home. But I get the same amount of work done when I'm at home than when I'm at work. The only time I screw around is when I'm bored. And it's like if I'm at work and there's nothing going on because I'm too efficient at fixing things and I'm just waiting on someone to send me a job or someone to shoulder tap and ask me questions, just looking for something to do, I will tend to jump on my computer and just start browsing ideas or looking at Thingiverse to see what new 3D models people made to give me inspiration for designing my own models, or, whatever. I'll start looking up random shit and doing research. I'll be looking on Hugging Face at the new models people have made for AI and seeing what they're building there, or I'll look up Arduino projects or Raspberry Pi projects, stuff like that. Basically bored out of my skull. So it's like, at least if I'm at home, number one, I don't have to drive to work, so I don't have to hurry up and go to the office at 7:30. All I gotta do is just shimmy over a desk and I'm at my work computer ready to rock the day. Number two, it's quieter, a lot quieter. The office life can be pretty noisy, pretty distracting, you know. I can focus more on my client than focus on the conversations going on around me, because like there's a lot of people in the office that like to talk about what's going on in the world politically. They like to talk about all sorts of different things. When I was fasting last week, the amount of people talking about food, which was not cool, was getting on my nerves. Like I'm sitting there and I'm going through a survival fast basically to get my immune system reset, to get my digestive system back in order, get everything all functioning properly. And people are talking about like chocolate cakes, Chinese food, the stuff they're going to bring to the potluck and all that. Sure, the potluck talk, whatever, that was a work related event that we were doing. But it's like, when you're trying not to focus on food and people are talking about food, and the other thing that's really brutal during a fast is when you're bored. If I'm busy, like during COVID, the reason why I was able to do a lot of fasting and no problems with it. I'm alone in this house. I can keep myself busy. If you're busy, you don't think about food. It's when you stop, you know, it's when you're not doing something, when your mind isn't occupied, when your body isn't in motion, all of a sudden you're thinking about food because your body's thinking, well, we're going to take a rest. We should refuel ourselves. Let's start feeding your brain a bunch of nonsense about like chicken pot pies and stuff, you know, like let's start thinking about steak. Let's start thinking about chicken. Let's start thinking about whatever. And if you're low on minerals, like if your body feels like it's low on salt, it'll start thinking about like Doritos, because it remembers the last time we ate Doritos, we got a sodium overload. Because let me tell you, you eat a whole bag of Doritos, you're taking it way above your daily recommended sodium intake. But it will do that. Your brain will do that because it needs those materials. It goes, oh, the last time we consumed this, we obtained those materials. Let's make him really want it. Like your brain will always work against you in that fashion. Sometimes you got to know when to ignore it. Sometimes you got to know when not to. It's this thing up here, guys. It plays tricks on you all the freaking time, so you just got to deal with it. But in all honesty, we haven't gotten any new computers all week, so Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday I've been in the office, and it's been pretty freaking boring, I'm not gonna lie. I had a couple of interesting jobs to do that went pretty good. I got one that I'm working on right now that I'm trying to figure out because it's something that's happening that doesn't make sense, and I've never encountered it before, so it's like I got to put all my brain power together to figure this one out, and gradually I will. Gonna work on that one today, and at least now I don't have people around me talking and conversing over things that, yeah, I just don't care about. So, I don't know what it is, man. Like before COVID, I was pretty big time hermit, not gonna lie. Like in 2010, 2011, 2012, I didn't mind going out and being around people. Then COVID hit and we're all told to be isolated and stay home and stuff. And I find COVID changed a lot of people. Like a lot of people became really selfish and it's all about me, and it's not fair and blah, blah, blah. And I don't like being around people anymore. I'd rather be home. I'd rather just not converse with people, not be around them. I'd rather just be alone at home, do my own thing. And it's like, you know, every Friday night before I used to go to Partners Billiards and go play pool with the guys and all that. Near the end, like around at the end or beginning of December, I went one night and the whole time I was there, I was just thinking about coming home. I didn't want to be there anymore. I was kind of annoyed with it. It was getting like that prior visits to Partners. I just didn't want to be there. It wasn't my thing. I wasn't interested. So like, what do? Well, you stop going. That's what you do. I haven't been to Partners to play pool at all this new year. I just never bothered going, never cared to go. Don't really feel like it. I spend my weekends at home. I keep my life cheap, which allows me to save money in the bank, focus on things that I want to do, like lift weights, train, and play video games. Is it very antisocial? Yeah. Do I care? No, because I don't know. I just find that the way the world is changing, people are changing, and I find there's too much entitlement out there that I just don't feel like dealing with it. In all honesty, if I could have a role like on Castaway where I'm on a boat and all of a sudden it capsizes and I'm alone on an island, I don't think I'd put help me on the beach. I'm pretty sure if I saw a plane flying overhead, I'd freaking hide because I wouldn't want to be rescued. So forget it. Stay on the island, survive as long as I can, whatever happens, happens, and just not deal with people anymore. Because frig sakes, like, you guys must notice it. You guys must see it out there that things have changed since COVID, that people have become more selfish and more entitled, and like the world's going to hell in a handbasket. We noticed that, right? Like, we got wars breaking up everywhere and blowing up everywhere, and freaking Canada doesn't even have a government right now. The guy who resigned for some reason's calling these massive shots. It's like, dude, you quit your job. How come you're still working? Like, what are you, friggin' Milton from Office Space? Like, it doesn't make sense. So, but yeah, that's it's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts up here in Canada. It's really nuts. You know, and they're talking about, like, when the new Liberal guy gets in, he might do a call for emergency. It's like, if that goes through, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard of, right? Because the call for emergency is because Trump is president of the United States and is threatening Canada with tariffs. Well, he just said no tariffs for Canada and at the beginning of March. I saw that video last night. So there's no reason to call for emergency act. And number two, if Trump being president was such a big deal, why did Trudeau resign and then prorogue the parliament so that we wouldn't have a government in action? If it was that big of a state of emergency, shouldn't we have a fully functional government in play, not just one guy who resigned but for some reason still calls shots and makes the stupidest decisions known to man running the place? I don't know. So for me, if I were like the Supreme Justice and they are the Attorney Justice or whatever the frig the Parliament judge is, can't remember now, don't really care either, and they were like, yeah, we're declaring an emergency act, I'd be like, no, you're not. You guys were able to run with 3 months without a government knowing what was going on, and you didn't even try to rectify this? Yeah, there's no emergency. Just friggin' deal with the punches that come your way, either block or take them to the face, get your shit in order. You can't handle it, let's call an election and get somebody in who can, right? That's how it should be, but that's not how it will be. World is dicked. World is dicked. I guess we'll have to wait and see what the future brings, right? Because, yeah, things like that. All the talk at work. That's the reason why I keep getting political on my videos. I'm at work and I'm doing my thing, and all of a sudden you hear people talking like, oh, did you hear what Trump's planning on doing next? And did you see this video? And oh my God, I saw a video about Pierre Poilievre, and I saw a video about Doug Ford, and I saw a video about and it's just non-stop, and it's like, holy guys, let it go. Like, I always live by the motto, don't fret over things you can't control and fret over the things you can. But when I'm in the office, I can't control hearing all this shit because I'm balls deep in the freaking nonsense and the talk, and it's like, frig off, just shut your mouths, guys, and do your job. Driving me freaking crazy. But yeah, should be home today and tomorrow, which will be nice, as long as no computer surprise come in. But I've been checking the tracking sheet at work, and it doesn't look like they're planning on sending us much. There's not many computers left, and theoretically we were brought on board as assistants because the sheer number of machines that needed to be fixed was too much for the team to handle, because they were taking, like I said, 9,000 plus machines, and they had to go to a new system for a new project. They just didn't have the people to get the job done. So the manager from that group reached out to our group and said, hey, would you guys happen to have any spare bodies that we could just give them the process to, send a bunch of rigs their way and have them bang them out so that we can get this done and over with before April. So that's the reason why that happened. Theoretically, if it would have been less rigs, like it would have been a couple hundred, they would have never would never reached out to us to ask us for assistance. But because it was such a massive amount of machines that needed to be re-imaged and reconfigured, we got pulled in, which, you know, that project's basically done now. I'm pretty sure they stopped sending us computers and they're going to finish them off, but they never communicated that to us because communication is key, and sometimes they just don't communicate it. So whatever, I'll work from home. I told my manager that if machines do come in, if the mailroom does get stocked up again, I'm like, just direct them to the office, tell them to park them in there, send me a message. I'm only 8 minutes from the office. I can jump in the truck and be there really quick and get to work while the other guys get situated. Because some of them are taking the bus, some of them don't have vehicles, they don't have licenses. So they're literally using city transport, or they call an Uber or whatever. U-Ride, whatever we have up here. I don't know. I've never used those services because I have a vehicle and I drive myself around when I need to get places. I don't mind getting in there and starting a bunch while I wait for them to show up to get after it. Yeah, I just told the boss. If they show up, let me know. and I'll just bomb in and get it done. It's been an interesting week so far. As for the Rust channel, guys, still no views on there, so I tried something different. I tried a strat that I used on this channel to generate some interest. I'm starting to think it's just because my videos suck that nobody's subscribing, but that's okay because it was just a little project that if I get bored of it, I'll probably just axe the idea, but whatever. The thing I started doing on here back in the day was making YouTube shorts. I haven't put any on this channel in a while, mind you, because I just haven't had the time because I've been too focused on this project and I haven't been home very much. And on the weekends, my brain is so jello that the last thing I want to do is pick up a camera. Okay, I wasn't sure if I stopped recording there. I totally just sneezed. Yeah, friggin' furnace comes on, starts blowing dust, and I get Sneezy McGee over here. But yeah, so that's pretty much been... Oh, I gotta sneeze again, frig's sakes. Okay, I think it's time for an antihistamine. Actually, I think it's time for Dr. Pepper Zero. Yeah, I brought the rest of the pop home. I was like, do you want me to leave it here in the fridge? And they're like, no, take it home, take it home. But do I have any of that Mountain Dew Zero in here? Yeah, check this shit out. I'd rather have this right now. Look at this. I got Mountain Dew Zero. I love Mountain Dew. Zero freaking sugar. Let me tell you, I wasn't sure how many people were gonna like this yesterday when I brought it in, but they freaking did. It was one of the ones that went down. The Coke Zero, yeah, it got hit a little bit. The Dr. Pepper, both myself and there was a couple people who liked it. But the Mountain Dew was getting slammed, and I was like, okay. And that zero sugar Mountain Dew tastes just like the real deal, minus the sugar. Yeah, and I believe there is caffeine in it, right? Mountain Dew has caffeine. Doesn't really say on it. Oh yeah, there it is. Doesn't say how much caffeine, but on the ingredients list, caffeine is listed. Right on. But I am so farty this morning, and this is what happens when I have carbs, because like we had at this potluck, there were, I don't even know what the hell they were called, parikas or something like that. Basically it was like this dough stuff, really spicy, with like chickpeas and shit in the middle. They look like little chicken wings, but they were not chicken. They were good. And then another guy made, he called it, I don't know, frig. It was he used an East Indian wording for it. I'm not sure what dialect it was. Could have been Telugu, I don't know. But I'm like, what are they? And he said it again, and I'm like, I don't understand. He goes, it's kebab. I'm like, oh, okay. But they were like little meat patties. To me, a kebab is like meat on a skewer. Or if you're in Australia, it's like a wrap. I don't understand their logic for that for kebab, but okay. Yeah, it's just meat on, for me, a kebab is meat on a stick, but these are like little patties. And then there was like a macaroni casserole, which was made with egg noodles. That was really good. I brought beverages. Another guy brought a blueberry crisp. There was a oatmeal cake. That was fantastic. What else was there? Oh yeah, and samosas. Frig, I love samosas. Holy crap. Like, I ate 2 samosas and they were huge. They were like a half a football. They were insane. I shouldn't have eaten 2 of them. This is the reason why I packed on way too much weight for, I'll lose it quick because it's just water weight. It's just retention. So in time it will go away. But it's like, yeah. Lots of good foods, lots of stuff I normally don't eat. And the other problem is because it takes me a while to break down vegetables, certain vegetables, and I don't know what vegetables were in here. It's gonna take me a hot minute to break these down. So anyway, guys, that is what's going on. It's been pretty warm this week. It's been around 4 degrees Celsius for the whole week, but it's supposed to drop down this weekend to like -11 again. So I have a feeling March starts on Saturday and it's going to be a definite weird one. It's going to be lots of ups and downs in the temperature still. We probably won't see spring break. Well, we won't see the spring temperatures break until about mid-March, maybe end of March. April, we should be finally getting rid of this snow. And then May, I should be able to launch Dirty Bird for another season of riding the piss out of it. Anyway, guys, on that note, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, click that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. And until next time, guys, live it to win it. And peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.